changes people, changes institutions. And this was the core of what the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was all about. Many of us, and I am among those that have this disaffection, this sentiment. We have been kind of, I don't know, I mean, when people say sunnah, it's like, you almost want to stop listening, because it's usually some small-minded, obscuritious person trying to tell you about your trousers, trying to tell you about how you groom your facial hair, telling you about a piece of fabric that you wear or not wear on your head, talking to you about which hand you eat with. And we're not neglecting any of that as part of the sunnah. But the bigger, more important, more significant sunnah is the sunnah of building people. And everyone here, because you're here, you have an opportunity to engage that sunnah. The Prophet said, وَمَا بُعِثْتُ إِلَّا أَنْ أُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was only sent to perfect noble traits of character, being erudite, being educated, being literate. These produce noble traits of character. And our community is sorely in need of these traits. Especially, our women need to be empowered. We cannot lie to ourselves anymore. When you look at most of the human rights indicators, Muslim countries are in the absolute caboose in the world. And one of them is the empowerment of women, tamkeen al-mar'a, empowering women. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, I don't care what anyone tells me to the contrary. Part of his mission was the empowerment, upliftment of women. And don't let anybody disabuse you of that fact. Once he was sitting with Umar ibn al-Khattab, Umar, big, intimidating, Qurayshi man from Mecca, and a woman approached him, and she said very, very assertively, and also very eloquently, we hear all of this stuff about men. What about women? We want to learn from you. We want to study with you. We want access to you. And we just don't feel that our needs are being addressed in this community. The Prophet, peace be upon him, stepped back and said to Umar, what do you think about this? Meaning this woman addressing me so forcefully, so assertively. She was so imperious the way she approached the Prophet. And Umar said, Wallahi, I didn't know that women could do that. And this was not a statement of misogyny. This was a man articulating his experience. I'm from Mecca, women don't do that. I don't know women to be that bold. I know them to have a more domesticated role. The Prophet stepped back and said, yes, women are capable of articulating themselves in the public square in this way. Don't be surprised at this. Then he said to that woman, your request is granted. And he would sit with the women of his companions, answering their question, educating them, answering their questions, educating them, and giving them religious teaching that was tailored to them and their needs, to empower them. When he went and took the Pledge of Allegiance from his companions, he took it from men and women independently to empower them. The Prophet, peace be upon him, similarly wanted to empower the downtrodden, those forgotten, the neglected, the under-resourced, the underserved in society. So people like Bilal al-Habashi, people like Khabbab, people like Ibn Mas'ud, we know them, but we don't know that before Islam, they were forgotten, invisible, living in abject poverty. And after Islam, they were ennobled, not because they had tons of money, not because they walked around wearing bling, not because they had really cool Facebook pages, rather because they had knowledge. Islamic civilization has always offered people a route to dignity through knowledge, through education. And that's what we're trying to do here. And if we don't do it, you tell me who's going to do it. Some people suggest, and this is just a shot in the dark, but in terms of education, and it's good to, I feel honored to be talking to what I hope becomes the base of the new philanthropic wing of the Muslim community. It will be you. But some people say that in terms of education, in terms of resources, in terms of cultural diversity, in terms of being well appointed in society. The Muslim Ummah has never seen a community like you. Never, not at any time in its history, ever. And we have to make a decision now about what will our legacy be. Will it just be the material things that we covet so much? And there's nothing wrong with material. Shahab and I were just talking about our cars. I'll race you. You probably beat me, but I have fun doing it, right? There's nothing wrong with material possessions, right? But is that going to be our legacy? They came to America, they made tons of money, and they lived very comfortably. Is that going to be our legacy? Or will our legacy be they came to America, mashallah, they took advantage of the educational opportunities presented them, and then they became voices and advocates for not only Muslims all over the world, but people without voices all over the world. This is what you have an opportunity to do. And in doing so, you absolutely make yourself admirable to your American compatriots. This is, when we say that, look, we're not just interested in, just benefiting here. We have an agenda, we have a mission, we have a charter that we're serious about. People respect you when you do that. So all I'm asking you, I didn't mean to talk your ears off, and I know that long-windedness is one of the worst characteristics of scholars. We love to hear ourselves talk. So I don't want to fall in that category, but I want to urge you to support this effort with everything that you can. If you can pray for this effort, pray for this effort. If you can donate to this effort, donate to this effort. Everything you give, it's coming back to you with manifold increase. And that is a promise from the Prophet, peace be upon him. Al-mal la yanqus min sadaqah. The money you give, it does not decrease. I made a mistake. I'm very tired. I was fasting 16 hours today. Maybe you understand something about that. Your wealth does not decrease from giving it, but you have to give it with a certainty that it's going to come back to me, either now or later, and better later than now. I'll tell you a story about certainty, and then I'll conclude. There was a companion named Ubadullah. He's a companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And the Prophet told him, Ubadullah, if you pray in the morning, and then you sit, remembering Allah, and you read Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Allah will protect you from calamity for the entirety of that day. So Abu Darda, he had implemented this advice. He was sitting there, he was doing it. Someone rushed to him and said, Abu Darda, your house is on fire. I think you better go and put the blaze out. He looked at them calmly and said, my house? No, it's not. Can't be. Abu Darda, your house is on fire. No, it's not. My house is fire. And he continued, he finished the surah, and then he went to check on his house. Every house around his had burned down, but his house was intact. And they said it was the strangest thing. Every time the fire approached your place, it would just recede. So this is how you have to give your charity. It will come back to me. I'm certain of it. Like Abu Darda was certain that his house was fine, your money is coming back to you. When you give it, be certain of it. And give it so discreetly that the left hand doesn't even know what the right hand is up to. It's coming back to you. Don't worry about it. You will be helping people that will greatly appreciate your help. They might not even know you, but you will be in their prayers. And those are the prayers you want to be in. Assalamu alaikum.
Alhamdulillah, it's always nice to have a scholar in the house, and that was not long-winded in the least. Not only is he a spiffy dresser, but mashallah, he can give a really good speech as well. Thank you so much, Brother Evans, and can we give him another round of applause, please? I would like to introduce to you my co-president, Fawad Aziz. He's going to say some words, and we're going to start our fundraising effort. Thank you.